Chapter 2 Introduction to Microsoft Access. Data is one of the most important assets of any business. These days, business enterprises are experiencing an unprecedented information flood as a result of massive data expansion driven by business applications, digital media, and other new technologies. The volume and variety of data from countless sources can be efficiently managed through data management systems. Databases are useful for storing and retrieving data. In this chapter, we will discuss the basics of database and get a preliminary idea of working with MS Access. What is a database? A database is an organized collection of related data records. Database management systems manage and manipulate information inside a database. There are many different approaches to storing and modeling data, resulting in various types of databases. The 4 different types of databases are A. Hierarchical databases, B. Relational databases, C. Network databases, D. Object-oriented databases. Of these, the relational database model is the most popular. Understanding relational database. The relational database model is the most extensively used as well as the oldest database type. The 3 critical components of a relational database are tables, an entity type with relations; rows, records or instances of an entity type; columns, value attributes of instances. There are many relational databases available, for example, OpenOffice Base, Microsoft Access, etc. Databases can also be created and organized using programming languages like SQL, Visual Basic, and Delphi. Understand advantages of database management systems. Use of database management system (DBMS) for data storage and retrieval offer many advantages over conventional methods. Some of these advantages are given below. A. Reducing data redundancy. Data redundancy occurs when the same piece of data is stored in 2 or more separate locations. This is prevented in a database as there is a single database and any change in it is reflected immediately. Because of this, there is no chance of encountering duplicate data. B. Sharing of data. The users of the database can easily share data among themselves. There are various levels of authorization to access the data and consequently, the data can be shared only based on the correct authorization protocols being followed. Many remote users can also access the data simultaneously and share the data between themselves. C. Data integrity. Data integrity means maintenance of data accuracy and consistency. Since data stored in a database has no duplication and mistakes, it is accurate and consistent. D. Data security. In a DBMS, the database administrator has complete control of the database and can ensure the data is accessible only with permission. Different categories of users can be given different permissions. Some may have authority only to view the data, while others may have authority to modify data too. E. Backup and recovery. Database management system automatically takes care of backup and recovery. The users don't need to back up data periodically because this is taken care of by the DBMS. Moreover, it restores the database after a crash or system failure to its previous condition. F. Data consistency. Data consistency is ensured in a database because there is no data redundancy. All data appears consistently across the database and the data is the same for all the users viewing the database. Moreover, any changes made to the database are immediately reflected to all the users and there is no data inconsistency. However, there are a few disadvantages of using a DBMS. They are as follows. DBMS requires computers, where a good investment is required for acquiring the hardware, software, installation facilities, and training of users. There might be a catastrophic failure, which requires you to keep regular backups. While taking backup is a good practice, it consumes a lot of time. Advantages of What is MS Access? MS Access is a relational database management system software from Microsoft. It is easy to use and facilitates storage and management of a large amount of data. Access enables one to retrieve, sort, summarize and report results speedily and effectively. It can combine data from various files through creation of relationships and can make data entry more efficient and accurate. Microsoft Access, MS Access, enables one to manage all important information from a single database file. Within the file, one can use tables to store data, queries to find and retrieve specific data of interest, forms to view, add and update data in tables, reports to analyze or print data in a specific layout, data access pages to view or update the data. In MS Access, data is stored once in a database table, but can be viewed from multiple locations. When the data is updated in a table, query or form, it is automatically updated everywhere it appears. What is MS? Starting Microsoft Access. The steps to start working in MS Access are: Step 1. Click on the Windows icon on the desktop screen and select Access in the Start menu option. Step 2. In the Access starting screen that appears, you may choose Blank Database to create a new database or choose Open option to open an existing database and work with it. Step 3. Choosing any one of the above options will open up the MS Access window on the screen. Starting Microsoft Access. Components of MS Access Windows. Let us now get familiar with various components of the MS Access application Windows. Quick Access Toolbar. The Quick Access Toolbar lets you access common commands no matter which tab is selected. You can customize the commands depending on your preference. Title Bar. It is the topmost horizontal bar. It displays the title of the current database. Ribbon. The ribbon contains all of the commands you will need to perform common tasks in Access. It has multiple tabs, each with several groups of commands. Navigation pane. The navigation pane displays all of the objects contained in your database. The objects are grouped by types. Double-click an object to open it. You can open, rename and delete objects using the navigation pane. The following are the major objects that you can create in Microsoft Access. Tables, where you can store data in the form of rows and columns. Forms. Forms are windowed interface that you can create to manage or manipulate data in a table or group of tables. Queries. Queries are statements that you can use to filter our relevant data according to your need from a table. Reports. Reports are used to display data in a printable format from a table or a query. Document tabs bar. All objects are displayed in tabs on the Document tabs bar. To view an object, click on its tab. Work area. Here we enter data and create elements such as forms, tables, and reports. The work area differs according to the database element selected. Record search box. You can use the record search box to search for any term in the current object. The first result will be selected automatically. To navigate through additional results, press the Enter key on your keyboard. Record navigation bar. The record navigation bar allows you to navigate records one at a time. Click the arrows to navigate through the records. You can jump to a specific record by typing its ID number in the box. Working with MS Access. MS Access uses objects to help the user list and organize information as well as prepare specially designed reports. Databases in Access are composed of many objects, but the following are the major objects. Tables, queries, forms, reports. Together, these objects allow you to enter, store, analyze, and compile your data. Here is a summary of the major objects in an Access database. Tables. In Access, all data is stored in tables, which puts tables at the heart of any database. A table is an object that is used to define and store data. In Access, rows and columns are referred to as records and fields. A field is more than just a column. It's a way of organizing information by a particular data type defined for it. Every piece of information within a field is of the same type. For example, every entry in a field called names would be a name, and every entry in a field called city would be the name of a city. Likewise, a record is more than just a row. It's a unit of information. Every cell in a given row is part of that row's record. You can define a primary key, one or more fields that have a unique value for each record, and one or more indexes on each table to help retrieve your data more quickly. Forms. Forms are used for entering, modifying, and viewing records. You likely have had to fill out forms on many occasions, like when visiting a doctor's office, applying for a job, or registering for school. The reason forms are used so often is that they are an easy way to guide people toward entering data correctly. When you enter information into a form in Access, the data goes exactly where the database designer wants it to go, in one or more related tables. Forms make entering data easier. Working with extensive tables can be confusing, and when you have connected tables, you might need to working with extensive tables can be confusing, and when you have connected tables, you might need to work with more than one at a time to enter a set of data. However, with forms, it's possible to enter data into multiple tables at once, all in one place. Database designers can even set restrictions on individual form components to ensure all of the needed data is entered in the correct format. All in all, forms help keep data consistent and organized, which is essential for an accurate and powerful database. Queries. A query is an object that provides a custom view of data from one or more tables. Queries are a way of searching for and compiling data from one or more tables. Running a query is like asking a detailed question relating to your database. When you build a query in Access, you are defining specific search conditions to find exactly the data you want. In Access, you can create a graphical query, or you can write structured query language (SQL) statements to create your queries. You can define queries to select, update, insert, or delete data. Reports. A report is an object in desktop databases designed for formatting, calculating, printing, and summarizing selected data. You can view a report on your screen before you print it. While forms are for input purposes, reports are for output. Anything you plan to print deserves a report. Whether it is a list of names and addresses, a financial summary for a period, or a set of mailing labels. Reports are useful because they allow you to present components of your database in an easy-to-read format. You can even customize a report's appearance to make it visually appealing. Access offers you the ability to create a report from any table or query. Working with MS Access. Creating a database. There are two ways of creating a Microsoft Access database: by using a blank database and by using a template. Let us learn about both here. Creating a blank database. Creating a database in Microsoft Access is as easy as creating a Word document. The steps to be followed are: Step 1. Open MS Access. A starting screen will open. Step 2. Click Blank Database option. Step 3. Choose a name and click Create. Let's call it Database 1. You can either use the default location or click the folder icon to change the location. Once you have completed the above steps, you would see a blank database like this. Creating a database using a template. An Access template is a file that, when opened, creates a complete database application. The database is ready to use and contains all the tables, forms, reports, queries, macros, and relationships that you need to start working. Each template is designed to meet specific data management needs, and you can either use one of the templates included with Access or find one online. The steps to using a template to create a database are: Step 1. Open MS Access. A starting screen will open. Step 2. Click on any of the template options shown. You can search for templates online too. Here the student database has been selected. Step 3. Specify the file name and click on Create. The following screen will appear. Creating a database using a to open an existing database. Before you enter data or modify your objects, you will need to open your database. Step 1. Select the File tab to go to Backstage View. Step 2. Click Open. Step 3. Select Computer, then click Browse. Step 4. The Open dialog box will appear. Locate and select the database. Then click Open. Step 5. One or more warning messages may appear when you open your database. If the database contains customized functions, a yellow bar with a security warning may appear below the ribbon. If you trust the source of your database, click Enable Content for your database to display correctly. Step 6. After enabling all contained in the database, you may see a message asking you if you want to make the database a trusted document. Click Yes if you would like all content to be automatically enabled each time you open the database. To close a database. Step 1. Select the File tab to go to Backstage View. Step 2. Select Close. Step 3. If you have any unsaved objects, a dialog box will appear for each one, asking you if you would like to save it. Select Yes to save the object, No to close it without saving, or Cancel to leave your database open. To close, sum up. Data is one of the most important assets of any business. A database is a collection of related data organized into fields, records, and tables that has been created for a particular purpose. Database management systems are computer programs or software which help us to manage and manipulate information inside a database. Use of database management software makes storage, retrieval, and manipulation of data very efficient. Databases can also be created and organized using programming languages like SQL, Visual Basic, and Delphi. Data redundancy occurs when the same piece of data is stored in two or more separate locations. MS Access is a database management system software from Microsoft. It helps us to create a database. Tables, forms, queries, and reports are the main objects in a database. In Access, all data is stored in tables, which puts tables at the heart of any database. We can create a database from scratch using blank database options or from a ready-made template provided in MS Access.